Hey, how's it going, guys? Monolith here again with another Monolithic overview, and today we're looking at Space Run. Space Run is essentially a tower defense game. Uh, the platform that you're looking at here, the ship in the background, is composed of hexagonal platforms, essentially pieces that are fit together. The configuration of the ship and the layout of the ship is predetermined for you as per the mission. The towers that you get, you unlock and upgrade as you go through the game. As you can see over here, you pick a profile and whatnot. You can have several profiles. You gain stars, which are essentially reputations. It's 5 stars per level if you 5-star it. Obviously, if you make it all the way through in a quick enough time, they'll give you 5. Just completion, bare completion is 3. Let's jump in here and go ahead and take a look. Here are your 2 screens. You have delivery and engineering. Engineering is your upgrade tree and your tech tree, basically. Here you have weapons, defensive towers, essentially. Utility towers like engines and powering up stuff. These are your cargoes, which they're only here to show you what they do, if anything. Most of these don't do much by way of active abilities. Most of these are just passives that, they affect your ship as you fly around in the mission. And these are your enemies, essentially your beastry for what you're going to face. The weapons range from relatively basic to pretty interesting. What you start off with here is a laser cannon. When you first get it, it's placeable. You choose the orientation, the direction that it's facing when you place it. You can't do anything after it. Do anything with it after you place it. Eventually, you'll unlock Reorient, which lets you turn the tower after you've already placed it, which is a pretty big deal. The Twin Blaster down here is pretty interesting. You place it, you can't really place any towers next to it facing the same direction as this tower because it takes up 3 viewpoints, which I will show you here in a minute in gameplay. But when you first place it, it faces one direction as per the original laser cannon, but it has this reconfigure thing, switch configuration that is, where it actually splits into 2 separate lasers facing off to the left and right, but you can no longer face the front. So there's a whole lot of strategy that's kind of weaved into here that you don't really expect. It looks like a relatively simple game, and I suppose it is fundamentally, but once you actually get into it and the missions get harder and harder, it becomes a pretty powerful strategy game. This is your selection for companies that you do deliveries for. The whole idea behind Space Run, as you can see up here, Space Run, fast and safe delivery, as opposed to the deliberately slow and painful delivery. What you're looking at here is the different companies you do missions for. As you can see down here is the list of missions. I haven't unlocked this 5th one yet. This is the first one you start off with. I'll show you one of the basic missions here. This is only the 2nd mission of the game, basically. Hopefully, if I remember correctly, this is a little bit better than a tutorial, but probably not much better because of how early it is in the game. Get through this loading screen. Okay, now this is essentially the mission setup stage of the mission itself. They'll basically give you 1 thruster and your cargo. Now you have to place all of these on here wherever you choose to is pretty much up to you. I'll put these towards the back. So they give you what you have to place on the platform. As you can see, here's the hexagonal configuration. This piece right here in the middle is your bridge. If your bridge gets destroyed, you lose the mission. You can lose these platforms if you take a large missile volley, or if a giant asteroid slams into the side of you here, which happens far too often. It will take off chunks of your ship, and for the remainder of that mission, you are without that section of your vessel, which you might as well just go ahead and restart at that point. There is a lot of restarting missions in this, by the way. But yeah, so this is the essentially the starting gate, if you will, and then we are off. Now you have weapons down here. This being such an early mission, I'm not really going to have to get into the big guns yet, but we certainly will here in a moment. Let's go ahead and place some of these down. Now, as you can see, after you place the tower here, that's your cone of your view, essentially, your line of sight. Now these towers, what I was saying before about reorienting, after you've placed it, if you don't have reorient, you can't change this line of view, this line of sight. But if you have reorient, you can use the mouse wheel to change the direction it faces, which is pretty much a game changer. Without that, you're doing it wrong. Now they will tell you what wave is coming in and from what direction. It is possible for waves to come and go and do damage to your ship and escape unharmed if you manage to, if they get out of your line of sight or something like that. You get hex nuts, which is credits or whatever you want to call it, dollars, which you spend on active abilities like rapid fire and stuff like that, boosts for your engines. I'm not so much worried about... Let's see right here, I had to change his line of sight, otherwise I would have got hit by all those little meteorites. Let's go ahead and put some more towers down up front. Now after you've placed your tower, this is your wheel, you just kind of got to click on it and it'll bring up your active wheel here. Most of them have repair and recycle. I haven't seen any that don't have those two. That repair is just a one-for-one repair the tower that you have selected. The power generators that you get eventually, you can unlock a healing ability for them, basically, where they heal everything around you in a radius, which is extremely helpful, especially once you start getting into enemies that have missile launchers that do AoE damage, area damage to everything, especially if they start hitting the heart of your ship. If they're attacking, like, say this laser cannon here, they are doing damage to your bridge, so that does become quite a big deal. As are shields, which you get shields, I believe it's like the second deliverer, the second company in, I should say. So let's go ahead and... Now these are essentially fueling platforms. They don't attack you, but they are there for you to destroy if you need the credits. Sometimes it can be actually kind of hard to pull it off, being able to destroy them in time before they manage to escape you. Normally the missions where those are available to you, the missions aren't that difficult, but you will at some point in time run into missions where they're just being diabolical and intentionally harmful to your psyche by how many enemies they're throwing at you, let me tell you. Let's go ahead and face these this way. I'll tell you what, on a personal standpoint, I'm relatively obsessive-compulsive when it comes to games like this, as far as being able to place in symmetry. And the game kind of rewards you for that. Generally speaking, there's only certain directions that enemies will come at you from, but there are times where they give you something that's an odd shape that just drives me crazy because it doesn't look right with sitting on my platform. But let's go ahead and get some more thrusters down here and try and beat the 3-star mark. Down here at the bottom, these are your reputation stars down here. These two represent your cargo, I believe. If you don't lose any cargo, you will always get 2 stars. As far as I can tell, the way they have it set up as far as scoring goes, if you beat the mission, you get 1 star, and then these 4 stars, like I said, there's a total of 5 stars based on how well you do on the level. But these remaining 4 stars down here, you can lose, and you will lose these time ones. There is a lot of replayability in the fact that they kind of make you replay it by going back and trying to get that 5th star, because you do need a certain total of stars in order to unlock certain weapons and certain items. And well, that sucked. Let's see, we've got to replace some of these. I'm here at the end of the mission anyway. Now down here you can see, just cut off there. At the bottom of the screen, I'll show you on the next mission I do, the more advanced mission. There is a bar along the bottom where it shows you the time you're trying to beat. Why it actually, visually represents the time you're trying to beat. As long as you get to the end of this mission here, end of the track, basically before the star does, then you have gained that star. Let's go to a more complicated mission. Let's see. Now this one here I actually have not 5-starred yet, and is quite difficult. This red skull here indicates there's a boss towards the end of the mission. Now the various cargo types. Most of them are pretty basic, at least the first couple ones anyway. This one's kind of interesting. If you have free space on your platforms, if you have a platform here that's not taken up by anything, it will try and put down another load of cargo, which is kind of interesting. Where'd it go? It will tell you what it can do here. Special abilities. Build container. Builds a new container on a free space of the ship. Lasts 60 seconds. As far as I know, I'm not really sure if that's there to help you out or if it's there to kind of screw you over. But yeah, I mean, at least they're trying to do something a little bit different with these. Alright, got a basic configuration here. Let's go ahead and take off. A lot of the basic towers don't really require power or you know, there's no special needs to them in order to get them to do what they want to do. Eventually, you'll start hitting stuff that has to be powered, and then you unlock the ability to power things, and then you know, it kind of becomes basically essential to be able to beat the game, or beat the run, that is. Let's go ahead and take a look here. The other thing, too, as far as when you're going through these missions, you really want to be careful as to not put down too much too soon without knowing what direction everything's coming at you from. As you can see here, this is a countdown for when the wave will come, and this is what is in the wave, times 12, so there's going to be 12 small asteroids. It's kind of annoying. If you hover over the, you know, what's in the wave, it'll give you the visual representation of what their abilities are, but there's no way to click on what those pictures are, and it's kind of hard to tell what exactly they're trying to convince you of. Obviously, on that on the engineering page that I showed you before, the list of enemy types and whatnot, you can click on the you know, the wave icon there, and it will tell you. You can hover over, but you can't do that in the run, which is kind of annoying. Now down here, this is what I was talking about before. Here is your ship on the top, and it shows your configuration, which is, I guess, somewhat helpful. And these are the stars. Now these stars, it kind of shows you how far behind you are. That little symbol on the top there is thrust, where it says -257. Essentially, it's telling me I need 260 more thrust to match the speed of that star. Thrust is a stat on your engines, obviously. Let's put down some of these big mammoth jammers down here. Let's put this here. Reorient. And try and take out that platform. Now this is a larger engine that you don't unlock until a little bit farther into the game. That has to be powered. That's a power node. And this is the wheel I was talking about, where you can do the AoE heal, which is extremely helpful. Let's turn these around that way. Let's get some more guns down.
Your wish is my command.
It's that way.
Consider it done.
As you, I don't know if you can tell or not, it gets pretty hectic trying to get through these, especially on the tougher missions. Especially when the boss gets here. when the boss finally does show up towards the end of this, there probably won't be a whole lot of talking going on for 30-45 seconds, because they do get kind of crazy. But we will do what we can. Right, we got some more waves going up here. Let's repair this guy. Repair that guy. Now, a lot of the towers that have special abilities, like the rapid fire on the basic laser cannon, requires power. That's that little lightning bolt down there, the symbol for power. Now, the active abilities, like I said, you have to power them, but they also do cost in-game money to be able to actually fire them off. So you really got to manage your resources when it comes to timing up the active abilities, because they only last for so long, and you won't get that money back. The other bit of a nuisance as far as this game is concerned is actually picking up the currency off of what you kill. Like I said, when you destroy an enemy, they drop money. They drop these hex nuts, credits, whatever you want to call them. They do drop those on the ground. However, you have to mouse over them, almost like a lasso, to kind of pick them up like that, which gets to be a nuisance, especially when you have longer range things like missile launchers and whatnot, where they're killing stuff off screen, and there's no indication that, hey, there's money over here, come pick it up. As you can see right here, I can't even see my ship right now, but there's that little hex nut there that I just had to pick up. Now you can see everything over there. all the asteroids coming in. As they die, they're dropping these hex nuts, but they'll just sit there until I mouse over them. And even then, you kind of have to make several passes because the way this, you know, I don't know if you want to call it a magnet or whatever they're trying to do with that, it's kind of a nuisance. Let's go ahead and get some of these down. Power these up so I get the rapid fire ability. So you got an achievement. How about that? Come on.
Not to be critical, but wow, that was bad.
And in case you haven't noticed, I'm not sure if you can hear it or not. I might cut them out. I might leave them in. There is a narrator in this game that is supremely annoying. I'm not sure if they intended it to be that way, but not good. Not a highlight of the game, I can tell you that. Let's go ahead and recycle this out and switch it in for a larger thruster. See if we can beat this 3-star.
Right away.
Okay. So far looking pretty good. We keep losing towers, but they're only the basic laser cannons. I'm not really all that concerned about them.
This baby has teeth.
Picking up all the hex nuts. Okay. Alright, we got some enemies coming in from the front. Let's go ahead and reorient these. You do eventually get to the point where you just kind of feel like a, I don't know, some kind of badass space pirate where you have 15 different guns facing the same direction. You're just kind of like, bring it on. But, you know, you kind of got to reel that in once the bosses get here because they tend to put you in your place pretty quick. Let's go ahead and put some missile launchers down here.
Ready to blast away.
And took out their bridge, and he's down.
Watching a pirate blow up.
Now these. Let's go ahead and activate some rapid fires here, show off those a little bit. Only problem with doing the rapid fire ability is that while it's active, you cannot reorient the cannon. So if you time it wrong, you can set off the rapid fire, and you can completely whiff on what it is you're trying to take out, which is relatively heartbreaking. But I suppose it's to be expected. Now let's take a look here. I would like to get some shields down before the boss comes in, which is in 10 seconds. Awesome.
Excellent
Let's put
choice.
these down.
Your wish is my command.
Surrender or die.
They do these little cutscenes. They're so far they've all just been pirates. The narration in this game is relatively, you know, it's there, but you don't really want it to be there. It's usually just more annoying than it is helpful. Let's try and face everything this way. Inflation on the shield generator there to kind of buff those up a bit. Let's get some rapid fires going. Let's get some more missile launchers down.
It's my pleasure to serve. Your wish is my command. Ready for launch.
Now the hope here is that once he comes within range of the, or the line of sight I should say, of those missile launchers, he should go down pretty quick. And then we're just kind of taking out his ship rather slowly, but almost there. Come on, come on, come on. Just go wide angle on these rocket launchers, try and get them back in range. And set off some, right there we go. And he's down. Okay. Now, pretty much after the boss battles, all there is a little bit of a stretch before you hit the goal line there. And hopefully we'll beat this star down here. Looks like we will. As far as I can tell, the star turns green when it tells you, hey, if you maintain your speed, you will beat it. If that star was still in front of us and red, it would be telling us that we can't catch it, unless we were to boost or something like that. But these larger engines don't boost, at least not yet. I haven't unlocked the ability. I'm not sure if they even have one. But, yeah, it looks like we'll be able to catch it, though. And as long as we don't hit any banana peels or somebody with a blue shell comes along. Crossovers, breaking the third wall. Okay. Made it to the finish line. See if we got that 5th star. Cross your fingers. Yay! Alright, cool. Well, guys, I think that's a good note to end on. Finally hitting that 5th star. I have only tried this mission 39 times so far. Anyway, this has been Monolith here. Have a nice one. Take care.